Hi, FlossTube Stitchers. I'm going to try very hard to not sneeze during this video. So if you see any edited parts, it could be because I couldn't control it. My sneezes are not cute at all, like my friend Jerry, who sneezes like this. They're tiny and petite, just like she is. And her friends and family probably wait for the third one to say bless you, because we know they come in threes. But mine are obnoxious. I inherited my sneeze from my dad. And I remember years ago, my mom accused my dad of embellishing his sneeze. Now, maybe he did after a while try to make them louder or extend it at the end, like just to get her goat. But at the time, I was thinking, no, because I have the same sneeze and I can't control it. Anyway, I was feeling pretty good that I haven't been sick in a really long time, except for getting COVID in 2021. I really haven't been sick since 2020. And my husband and I started getting flu shots a couple years ago. And I think that really helps. Well, this year he was sick a couple weeks ago, and was it at Christmas? He was sick at Christmas because I think he couldn't go to the concert at the last minute. He tested negative for COVID, but he didn't feel well, and he was afraid that, you know, coughing or sneezing or whatever would interrupt people around him. He didn't feel that well. So yeah, that was at Christmas. And I don't know where this came from, but Friday night I had like a, a scratchy throat. And so my husband had gotten a sample pack of this. I looked on the side to see how it was pronounced. Oscillococcinum. And it's homeopathic, which I like because I normally don't take any kind of medication or Tylenol or anything like that. And I found it in the cupboard, and I took some before I went to bed and took a couple more doses the next day. And then I bought a bigger package of it because I liked how it was working. And what's really interesting is the doses come in little plastic tubes, and they're dissolvable pellets. Dissolvable. They're dissolvable pellets that you just, pour out onto your tongue. So you don't need to drink anything. And that's good for me because I used to always have trouble taking pills. I think I was a teenager and my mom was still crushing aspirin and applesauce for me because I had a hard time swallowing pills, and I actually hated water. So drinking a pill with water was my worst nightmare. Anyway, so I've been using that, and I guess I would recommend it so far. And then the other thing is good old Vicks Vapo Rub. I just put it up my nostrils and under my nose, and that works great too. So anyway, so this video might really just be my freebie February from this week. We'll see how long it lasts. I'm kind of tired. You don't have any energy. You don't have any desire to accomplish anything. But I knew this was the best day for me to do the video. So it is what it is. So my freebie number 12 was, and now my nose is going to run. Okay, hang on. Okay. Scary Night from Romy's Creations. And this was from her blog from a long time ago. And I did it on 32 count Belfast gray and white petty point. And it didn't call for the tombstone button, it called for a stitched one. And I knew at the time that I wanted to use a button. Well, the buttons, since they're handmade, do not always come out the same size. So I kind of wish I would have had a thinner one, or that I would have thought ahead to extend the border so that it would fit. But it's fine. And I had this stitched a number of years ago, and I did the green in a darker color, like a forest green. I don't know, maybe that's what it looked like to me on the color chart. It wasn't stitched, it was just a color chart. And in certain lights, it looked identical to the black. So I thought, well, let me do this fun green. If I remember correctly, it's pepperoncini from Weeks Dye Works. And I did 2 little straight stitches for the bat's eye. And then it had grass stitched around the tombstone. And I wanted to kind of do the same thing, even though I was using a button. So I did a bunch of grass like underneath and then just set the button a little bit higher. And you know what? It is what it is. I wish I could have figured out how to get the grass to go on top of the button, but it wouldn't stay. And then it just looked sloppy. So anyway, I'll figure out some kind of cute little ornament finish or whatever, small pillow or something. Sorry, I didn't think about the fact that I might also be clearing my throat because I haven't talked very much today. So that was day 12. All right, the next day, this was something new, a newer site, not necessarily a cross-stitch site, but I think I was looking for, I was specifically looking for snowflakes. And let's see if I do it that way. Well, oh, I know I was going to show you. Okay, so it's called French Country Farmhouse? French Creek? I knew I was going to forget that. I think it's French Creek Farmhouse. Let me see if I can get this closer. And she has like a charming kind of neutral toned house, and I thought everything looked really nice. But I decided to do mine a little bit different. So I'll just see if I can show you one of these finished ones up close. So she did hers in white or cream on like a raw type of a linen, and she hung them by like grosgrain ribbon from her window opening or whatever. So anyway, I had just this perfect long piece of, I thought it was 32, but I think it's 28. And if you see a little orange line, it's because the salvage is on the fabric, but I just wanted to show you what I stitched so far. And I think I'm going to put all 3 snowflakes on the same piece of fabric. So I think I have room. If I separated them, I could do them as 3 ornaments, but I thought, oh, maybe I could do all 3 of them on the same piece of fabric and then do some kind of easel finish. And I thought that would be pretty because they're 3 different snowflakes. And I'm using a solid, sulky 12-weight cotton, color 1292. And so you just use 1 ply as it comes off the skein. And I was really enjoying working with this until I looked closer at the chart. And of course, the one that I started in the middle, the one I chose for the middle because it's the way the designs were, and I thought it would look best if this one was in the middle and the other 2 on either side. There's a lot of inconsistencies in the design, and I know that not all snowflakes are alike, but usually a snowflake is consistent within its own design. So it's, you know, when you, I'm losing my words here. So this particular one is not consistent. And of course I think I started from the center and then I worked down. Of course, the area that I'm working is the one that has the inconsistencies that I don't like, that I don't want to keep. I want the whole snowflake to look like the top half, not the bottom half. And I thought maybe it was just a charting error, but when I look closely at the picture, she really did stitch it that way. So, you know, maybe she intended it to, but that's not going to work for me. Plus, the other 2 snowflakes are, you know, consistent, top to bottom, side to side. There's a word, and I can't think of what it is. But anyway, so I may have to rip out part of what I put in, but I'm just going to put this away and deal with it later. Okay. Then 14 was, of course, Valentine's Day. And my nose is running again. Let me just step to the side. All right, so this was Erin Elizabeth Designs. And I finished almost everything the very first night. What I did later was fill in the center of the flowers with a Rhodes stitch. I just thought it would be fun to do something different. I thought about doing satin stitch too. I was going to do like a double 2-layer satin stitch, but I just did a Rhodes stitch. And so that was really fun. I liked the color palette, and I thought it would look good on a beige. This is 28 count wheat Lugana. So, and Erin commented on my post. I'm like, oh yeah, I forget that designers sometimes see what you post. Well, I always hashtag them, you know, so in case they look for their stuff, they'll see it. But anyway, that was kind of fun to get a comment from Erin. So I wanted to show you 2 customers, if you're not on Facebook, 2 customers put in the comments their finish. Let's see if I can do this without too much glare. So in this one, I know I'm going to butcher her name, Malgorzata Gierzuska. I'll spell it out for you. I'll put this at the end. And she left off the XO and put a cute button at the top, and then she created a border around it. Like, I think I might copy her idea for the border just to make it, you know, a little bit bigger. So anyway, I like that. And then this is Amy Lewis's little pillow, and she used a really fun, oh, sorry, there's a lot of glare. I don't know if you can see the fun trim. It kind of almost looks like roses. Anyway, I thought that was fun. So I always like people to show me their versions of what I'm stitching. I love it when people interact in that way. Okay, so that's pretty much, well, that is done. I mean, it is done according to the original chart, but I may add that checkerboard border. Okay, then on the 15th, on the 15th, I started PinkerNPunkin's 1869 B Skep Crock. Is that what it's called? Anyway, I'll get it bigger for you. And I decided to change the year to 1915 because that's the year my grandfather was born, and he was my beekeeping pappy in West Virginia. So I thought it would be fun to put a nod to him on the crock. And this is how much I got done on that first night, which I thought was kind of a lot, but you know, it's easy because each line just depends on the line ahead of it. You didn't really have to count. So that was really fun. And this is a piece of 30 count R&R coffee dyed linen from their early line. Their fabric doesn't look like this anymore. I had the name written down, and now I didn't put it in my post because I thought, well, there's no sense in people looking for it because they're not going to find it. It's too old. But this was actually gifted to me from my friend Bonnie M, and it was all serged and everything, and it was just going to be the perfect size. All right, so, and this is on Melissa's blog. Then on the 16th, I did Happy Spring, which was Lindsay Waite's first cross-stitch design from back in 2020, but I had never seen it before. Lindsay is from Primrose Cottage Stitches, and it was on their Facebook page on it was on in their Facebook group on January 30th. And I had this scrap of 28 linen fabric flare called Spring Watercolors, and it's very subtle, but there's only a few colors in the design, and so I thought it would be fun to have some an interesting fabric behind it since it was simple. And I was thinking of darkening all of the colors that were chosen by like one shade, because they do look darker in You know how picky I am. They look darker on the colored chart than what the floss looks like in real life, and then I'm like, stop overthinking it, just stitch it, and the colors will look good with this piece of fabric. So I got that done in one night. That was just such an easy stitch. So that was Primrose Cottage Stitches. They may have said something about that chart in one of their floss tubes, but I looked at a few from before that time, or maybe the one after too, and I flipped through and I couldn't find anything in the transcripts where they talked about it. So maybe that's when she was just starting her cross-stitch design career and decided not to put it out at that time. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's really cute. All right, I knew I had it because I showed it in the social media post. So that's what it looked like finished, and they just did a real simple, you know, ruffle and gingham fabric and a little bow, and they put it on a it looks like to me one of those ready-made frames at one of the chain stores that has like the clip at the top. So anyway, really sweet little finish. Okay, I'm gonna have to show you the chart because I think I saw not very many, but just a few finishes. Even though this is an old chart, I could not find very many finishes when I did a Google image search. And the finishes I found were either on Pinterest or Instagram where you can't save the picture. So I have to show you the chart. So this is ThreadWork Primitives called Lucky Shamrocks, and it's in the freebie section of her blog. And there's 4 colors, but one of them is just in the middle there, and I didn't think it was necessary. And I think I saw one person that had put buttons on the side, so that was my first thought, was I was going to fill in that space. When Nan did her first finish, she really, I think she just did that part as a little bag or something. She didn't even stitch the whole design. Anyway, if you do a search for it, you might find the same things that I found. So I decided, instead of just the DMC, I'm using charcoal for the lettering and the pot, the urn, the planter, whatever we want to call it. That's all I got done in one night because, of course, that was last night, and I don't know. I wasn't motivated. This is 37 count legacy linen in corn tassel using 1 strand of floss. And I had also seen where most of them had left off, I don't know if it's an I or a 1. They left off the colored decoration on the urn, and I thought, it's so small, it didn't need any decoration on it. So I decided not to put that. I just did it solid in charcoal. All right, and then on Sundays, you know, I like to show you a finished freebie. This is from Gazette 94 Blogspot, and it's called Coeur Automne. And I just loved it because it had squirrels, so I always do a whole squirrel display, but I also loved it because it was a heart, and I thought the frame was perfect with a little bit of gold on the outside, and then we added a little fillet in there, and I just love this. I do a whole squirrel display. And this I stitched on Time 28 count hand-dyed Joblin, which is currently unavailable. I guess Witch Out Imports has had some issues with production, and they haven't had this since 2020. So I hope they bring back the hand-dyed Joblin because they had some really pretty colors, and the 28 was just so nice to work on with 2 strands. And then I stitched it with Miss Green Jeans Belle Soie from Classic Colorworks. Alrighty. And then I also put some more work into Thankful Turkey by Colorado Cross Stitcher. So I did more feathers. I filled in his belly, and I started working on the quilt squares on the bottom. So that was really fun. And this is so easy too. I think I did work on this last night too after I did the other one because I thought I'm going to put this, as soon as I finish the pot, the urn, the planter, I usually have a goal for how much I want to get done so that it looks like something. And I did the planter and I'm like, I'm done. Get out the 14 count. So this again was on 14 count vintage country cream from Zweigart. And it's like it has a real subtle variation to it, but this is just really easy when you're tired. So I put some more work into that. All right, so I said I was going to talk about market prep this time. Two things. One, I feel like every year I want to do less market prep. I'll get to that in a minute. Two, if my video was short, I was going to put some pictures at the end of things that I knew I was going to get because I'm on 11 or 12 automatics. And so, of course, those are going to be here. Maybe I would need to increase quantities if I had more pre-orders for some of them, but at least I know I'm getting them. But it takes too much effort to fuss with the videos in iMovie. iMovie prefers rectangular pictures, and so it's just a lot of fussing, and that was not going to work out, so I'm not doing that. Okay, so back to market prep. The reason I sell the Nashville Cash gift certificates is that for me, it works out better to have money for market, to buy what I think is new and exciting or different, a designer that I didn't know about before, new fabric colors that weren't previously advertised, accessories from somebody that I didn't expect to see, a vendor that's there for the first time. And so I had not seen the items in person before. Like, it's funny, we want to be excited about market. We don't want to, and I've had this conversation with other shop owners, we don't want to stand in line in everybody's room to get one kit for one customer. It's not a fair use of our time. So if it's really somebody that I don't think I'm going to be ordering from, I will say, please get that from somebody else. If I know I'm going to get it, I'm like, yes, I will add you to my list because for sure I'm going to get that. So anyway, market prep, I don't know. I started cleaning out my car today because I'm taking it to the shop tomorrow for, wellness check. So I did start cleaning out the car. But as far as market, I'm trying to keep up with the emails. I'm saving pictures to use in the collages. I'm deleting emails if I know there's absolutely no way I'm going to carry, that particular merchandise. I get rid of it because once a week, Google tells me I'm out of space in my Gmail. Well, it's probably it's a combination of Gmail and photos. So it's probably the photos and the videos that are doing it. But anyway, I try to keep my email to a minimum so that I can find requests easier and so that I'm not searching through it all. So I just try to keep it concise and only keep the information that I know I'm going to use. So sorry, market prep, maybe not what you were expecting, but it does help to know the reasons behind something. And I don't have a website, so I don't feel the need to buy one of every single thing that's there. I'm not necessarily going to have the market for it. So I prefer to do the Nashville Cash. They're available in quantities of or increments of $25. You have till June to use it, but honestly, I have some people that haven't used last year's yet or haven't used their expo. I never say no. It's just more paperwork to keep track of it. But anyway, you have until June 30th, hopefully, to use it. And it doesn't have to be for Nashville stuff. It could be for fabric and thread for current products. It doesn't matter. But you get a lot of perks. You get double the marks on your book club card because usually people buy a lot of charts. So you're going to get double the marks. You're going to get entered into door prize drawings. And you're also going to get every free chart that I pick up when I'm at market. So for mail order customers, I'll mail those, with your first order. And for local customers, it'll be waiting here. So those are the perks you get for buying the gift certificate. Yep, that's what it says on the gift certificate. Okay, then the Smitten You from last week. Okay, remember when I couldn't remember what count it was on? Okay, duh. Z25. Their zipper kits, they had the number of the fabric on it. So 25, of course, it's 25 count. Anyway, this goes to, and I'm not going to say this name right either, probably, Sharon Mahon. Anyway, Sharon Mahon 1656. So I commented on her comment, and I will get this out as soon as I have her mailing address. And to win the Nashville cash, sorry, I forgot to say, could you tell me what kind of music you like to listen to? Like if you're in the car, or if you listen to music while you clean your house or something like that. Nashville's known as Music City. People think it's only country music, but it's really not. I went back and did some research on it, and I had heard an interview with somebody just a few nights ago that said there's every type of music in Nashville. It just is like a music hub. So they have country, bluegrass, rock, pop, gospel, jazz and blues, and probably a couple more. But anyway, tell me what kind of music you like, and we'll draw that name next week. Okay, I have a lot of editing to do, so I will see you next time. Bye-bye.